In today's video, I will be showing you how to decorate this cake for beginners and for those who have been decorating for a while, because there will be interesting tricks and tips I'm going to be showing you. So stay tuned. Welcome back. So this is the final look of the cake we are working on. So first I will begin by trimming and getting the perfect size for my cake. So this is an 8-inch cake, and I will be layering my exotic fruit cake as well as a lemon cake. So this was the exotic fruit cake, and here I'm using sweet syrup, and this is just a combination of the exotic fruit flavor, some sugar and some water. Because this is done because cake, once crumb coated and kept in the refrigerator, dries out quickly. The refrigerator causes the cake to dry out. So when you put the sweet syrup or the sugar syrup on the cake, it helps to keep the cake moist and locked in. So that's what I did earlier. In between the different layers of the cake is American buttercream that I did put it in between. This again helps with keeping the cake moist and beautiful inside, because again you don't want your cake to be just dry. You need the butter to make it moist. So just continue to watch as I do this. I poured in my sugar syrup, my sweet syrup. Again, this is not too sweet, so you just want something that's going to keep your cake moist and really moist, because the refrigerator dries out cake so easily. Check the links above to see how I made this exotic fruit cake as well as how I made the lemon cake. The lemon cake is an upgrade of my very first lemon cake I shared. This was quite easy to make, no standalone mixers, just your whisk. So check the link above to watch these two different cakes that I made and I stacked together for Father's cake. So this is the last of the 3 cakes, because to get my 8-inch cake, I did use 3 cakes to get to that 1 tier. Same for the 6-inch cake, I used 3 cakes to get to the 1 tier. So this was a 2-tier cake like you saw earlier. So these are my 3 cakes. I started decorating or crumb coating, and I realized that I not put my sweet syrup at the top. So that is what I stopped to do, because again you really need the sweet syrup. It really helps to make the cake moist. Remember, the sweet syrup is 1 part of sugar, 1 part of water, and a little bit of flavor of your choosing. Because again, this is a fruity cake, I decided to go with my exotic fruit flavor. I got this from Cameroon and I love it so much because it makes your cake stand out. The taste is amazing. So here was I crumb coating my first tier, which was an 8-inch cake, 8-inch round and about 6+ inches high, or almost 7 inches high. This is always so fun to do for me. I've been doing it for so long now, it's like second nature. Just continue to watch as I do this. If you're here for your first time, thanks so much for stopping by, and do make sure you watch this video till the end, because you're going to be learning something new. If you're a beginner in baking, or you just want to bake for family events or fun events, this is a good way of learning. Practice makes perfect, and you can absolutely do it. I am using my bench scraper to scrape the sides of the buttercream to take off any excesses. Again, this was covered finally with Wilton Fondant, so I don't want my butter to be too thick because I don't want any issues happening. So I just wanted a light coating, because again you need this butter, because the Wilton fondant is going to stick on the butter. And if you haven't subscribed, please do well to subscribe. So once I was done with the crumb coating, I let that sit in the refrigerator for about 4 hours, because I wanted it to be firm enough. While that was chilling, I did work on my fondant. So this is Wilton fondant, and I just rolled it to about an inch to get something a good size, or to be able to cover my cake with. Again, this was an 8-inch round cake. So I've put my fondant over the cake, and now I am smoothing it down. This gets to be a very tricky part of cake covering. When you cover the cake with fondant, you start playing around at the top, because you want it to stick, and as you're playing around with it, it's like a skirt, right? So you need to open it down and play around with your fingers while going down. You have to be very fast in doing this, because you don't want elephant skin, like when the fondant just bubbles up. You don't want that to happen with you, because to fix that is a little tricky. So you want to be fast while working on this. And yes, just continue to play around with the skirt and push down with your finger to make the fondant lay flat on the cake or stick to the cake. I use scissors to cut off the excesses. That's my kitchen scissors, to cut off any excesses, because fondant is sugar and tends to be sweaty when you're working on it, if the environment is kind of room temperature. So I couldn't really use my gloves on this, because it would have been sticky to the fondant. But I washed my hands. So I took my 2 smoothers and I tried to smoothen the cake at the top. I also took my my cutter to cut off any excesses of the fondant. So it's like a rolling thing. So once just play around with it, it just cuts and goes. So this is the most crucial part of your cake decorating, because you want the perfect sharp edges. You need these 2 smoothers in your life. So just watch as I do this. I use both of them to press towards the end of the cake, and as I'm pressing towards the end of the cake, at the same time I am sharpening the edges. So this is something you have to do constantly to get the hang of it. But this is a secret to sharp cakes, and it takes a while, so you have to do it consistently for a while, at least an hour, to get that sharp edge. At least, let's say 30 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on how good you are. It could get to an hour if you're just starting. So this is crucial. You need to take your time and do this to get that perfect sharp edges. Just continue to watch as I do this. And notice when I do play with the smoothers, I stop to check to make sure I am getting what I want to get. I also smoothen the down part of the cake, so I get rid of any excesses of fondant at the bottom. I continue to smoothen, because again I want the perfect sharp edges. Once I was done and I was satisfied, I took my kitchen blade to just cut off the sides at the top, just to clean off any excesses as I was trying to smooth it. So to smoothen. So this is all trying to make sure the cake comes out perfectly clean with sharp edges. I took my time to do this, guys, trust me. And it's actually fun to do it too. Once you start doing it, you're going to love it. If you've watched to this point, I am so grateful. I know this is a long video, but it's very, very helpful. So this was my second cake, and it was my chocolate cake and my 2 vanilla cakes, which I stacked together. I also used the sweet syrup, but this time around I added just my milk flavor to the combination of milk and to the combination of water and sugar, because again this cake has something vanilla or milky in it, so I wanted to make sure the milky flavor matches what is in the cake. Again, if you've watched to this point, I am so grateful. Just continue to watch. You're going to learn something. You're going to learn something new today. Yep, my 6-inch cake is right here, and I am doing my very best to smoothen the cake. This was the perfect result, and I'm so happy about that. Now we are on to decorating the cake. So the first thing was for me to do the borders, and this was a ribbon. So I did get the ribbon from Dollar Tree, and to get my paste or my gum to stick the ribbon to the fondant, I took a little bit of fondant, put a little bit of water, and I pressed it together to form a paste. So that is what I used as my glue to glue the ribbon on the cake. They also sell edible glue, but I ran out of that, so I decided to compromise, do something different that I could use, and it worked perfectly. So I did that for the 6-inch cake, and I will be doing the same thing for the I did that for the 8-inch cake, and I'll be doing the same thing for the 6-inch cake. Just continue to watch, and if you're still watching, continue to watch. I am so grateful, and leave a comment in the comment section if it's your first time trying to decorate a cake, if this is something you've been doing, if you've learned something new on this video, and if you like more videos like this, let me know in the comment section. You know, it's not only my channel, it's your channel as well, so we are working on this together. So you feel free to give me what you want to learn. So the first tier, which was a bigger tier, had an edible image on it. I don't have a printer to print edible images, so I pay for this at a shop, so I paid for it to get it printed. I picked it up, and now I was trying to get to the shape I wanted. I didn't want everything that was on the edible print originally, so I cut off what I did not need, and I got to the size that I wanted to use. Once I got there, I also used the scissors to just do a semicircle kind of a shape, just to beautify it. I did not want it to look just bland. I wanted it to look a little bit beautiful. So I don't want to put this edible image directly on the cake. I put this on some fondant that I rolled out, and I stuck it on it. Edible images are very, very delicate to use. You have to be very fast, and you have to be very smart in using this, because the listing it sweats so fast, and the listing it tears up, and that is it. You have to do another edible image, and if you don't have time, you'll not even be able to get to a shop to get one printed if you don't have an edible image printer like me. So you have to be very careful. And sticking the edible image on fondant helps to minimize the risk. So just continue to watch. Again, I use my kitchen blade to just clean the sides, and I also wet the surface of the cake with a little bit of my glue, my make-believe glue. This is edible glue to begin with, and I stuck that on the cake. I will be showing you how it looked like. That is it. So I took some fondant, and I used I have this mold, this ropey mold. So I took a fondant, I rolled it to be really small, and I put it on the mold to get the shape of the rope, as I use that as a border to the edible image. on the cake. This is just to add some flair and some beauty to the image on the cake. So that is how it looks like. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please hit the red subscribe button. Turn your notification bell so that when next I upload a video, you will be the first to watch, you'll get notified, and you'll be the first to watch. So now I am working on the first tier, which is a 6-inch cake. To get this shape, I used a cutter that I already had at home, and I also used my sweet stamp letters to stamp the letters of the name of the celebrant. Again, this was a 50th birthday cake I was making for a priest, and this was ordered by a big sis of mine all the way from Alberta. Mind you, I'm in Ontario. When she reached out to me, I was so grateful. I was like, you know what, big sis, I got you covered. So to get the name of the priest, I had to use my sweet stamp to stamp out the names. So I got it. That is for Father Ayo, and I use my gold paint. This is edible gold paint to print out the letters, or to paint into the stamp to get the letters to pop out, or to actually stand out. If you know what I mean, or if you understand what I mean, I am pretty sure you do understand what I'm trying to say. So just continue to watch as I do this. And I was so happy because Father Ayo actually loved this cake. So yeah, happy client, happy me. So that was the look I was going for. That is right there on the screen. Once I was satisfied with what I heard, I did put some glue, my make-believe glue, edible glue to begin with, on the cake, and I picked that up using my pinky knife, and I stuck it on the cake. That was done and dusted. That is how it looks like. So now I had to add other decorations based on what was expected of me from the big sis that ordered the cake. So I just took different circular shapes. I did poke them through, or I did roll some fondant, and I did get the shapes of the circles that I wanted. There are 3 different tiny circular shapes. So I did that, and I am sticking them on the cake. I had to stick them on both the two tiers of cake I was working on. Just continue to watch as I do this. Once I got everything, I placed them, and now I had to use my edible gold paint to paint on the circles. This was done like I had at least 5 coatings on these circles to get to the real gold. I also painted the border on the image that I did earlier, because again, I wanted it to look nice and different, right? So I did that. I continued painting to get to that perfect gold look. It's 15, so we need the gold. Please do not forget to subscribe, to hit the notification bell for future uploads, because I do my very best to upload videos every week, and you're going to definitely learn something from the videos. I hope you learned something from this video, and please ask all the questions that you want to ask in the comment section, and I'll be very ready to share. So that was the final look of tier 1, tier 2, and when I got to the event center, I stacked the cake together, and that is how it looked like. If you missed last week's video, please check the link above to watch the video of how I made this amazing lemon cake, which I stacked for Father's 50th anniversary. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget, life can get bitter. Eat cake to make it sweet. Until next week, bye.